Hey, Harriet.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening. We are finally live.
Yes,
So,
yes.
so first and foremost, I would love to thank you for being on Life Hurt podcast. It means a lot to me, and it's going to mean a lot to our listeners after they hear you share your testimony. So, again, I really appreciate you.
And I thank you for having me, Yvette, on here. I am just excited. I am to share with you, and just to be on your platform is just an honor.
Thank you. So, tell me a little bit about yourself before we get real deep and started.
Okay, where can I start? Well, my name is Harriet Pridgen. To tell a little bit about me, I'm a retired correctional officer. I retired
Wow.
this year, January 2020, after 18 years of service. I'm an advocate for abused and neglected children here in North Carolina. I still work. I work as an EVS worker at a hospital here in North Carolina. Um, I'm a wife. I'm a mother, and I'm a grandmother. So I kind of fill a lot of roles and stuff. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. That's who I am. I'm a
Wow.
minister of the gospel. You know. Mhm.
Oh, wow. What a blessing. So, what inspired you to be a part of No More Residue?
What inspired me was to tell my story. At first, I was a little reluctant to do the anthology class, but sometimes when the Lord pushes you out there, you got to step out there. You just have to step out there and do what's required of you. So that's what made me join the anthology to be a part of this project, which it was. I mean, the project was just an awesome project that I have learned a lot from, not just about my story, but a lot about myself.
Wow.
So
So, during the process, did
it
you,
has been very interesting.
I bet. So, during the process, did you battle, like, even trying to speak about actual things that you've been through in life? Because sometimes when those wounds open, those emotions turn to different levels.
It wasn't really a battle for me, because I had dealt with it, but then there was still some things that were still deep inside that I didn't really want to share. Sometimes you want to put things in your past, you want to put them in the past, and
Right.
but it was to show me that I didn't need to leave it there anymore because I had battled that past already. I had already been free of that past, but somebody else on this journey might need to hear my story because they're probably still going through similar to what I went through. So,
That is so true. So, what problems did you encounter in your story?
in my story, I encountered abuse mentally, physically, um, and most of all, control because I didn't have that voice to be who I wanted to be, to say the things that I wanted to say. I just kind of let it just all just bottled up on the inside, didn't know how to speak about it, didn't really know how to tell anybody about it. So I lost that control. I lost that voice um, to be me. I lost my identity, I would say. I lost my identity of who I was during that
Wow.
battle. Because when you go through, people don't realize when you go through abuse and you can't tell anybody, you push it so far down on the inside that you really don't know how to get out of it because you just keep pushing it down because you feel like whatever you done that it was you're the cause of it. So
Oh,
you really don't want anybody to know because you feel like, well, what can I do better? Not to be abused or not to be treated that way.
wow. How long were
So
you in?
those were some of the things that I battled in my story. Um, I would say it was a while. It was a while. It was over 7 years
Wow.
that I went through that. And when I finally did get out of that, I just took a path in the wrong direction to get out of that situation. I wound up in another situation that took me to somewhere that I didn't need to be in. But when you start looking for affection and attention, it takes you to another level. When you really don't know how to get out of what you got out of. So you're looking for something else and you wind up in the wrong place looking for it.
Yes, that is so true because
So that
a
was
lot of us
some of
are
my.
searching for love.
Mhm. And that's what happens when you search for love. And and I can tell any young woman or adult, don't search for those things that you think you're going to find in something else, because it doesn't work out the way that. Because first of all, you got to find yourself. And when you don't find yourself first, you wind up in the wrong situations, because you have not found you. You have not begin to love who you are. You have not begin to cherish who you are. And that's what I didn't do. I didn't cherish who I was, and I didn't know how to love me. So I'm looking for love from somebody else, or other things. So it does not work. It does not work.
Yeah, it's not at all. Even with you going through that, being abused and controlled, could you let me know like a little bit more about how did the what was he doing to control you?
More or less, the control came as to, um, in my every move, I had to let him know where I was going, what time I would be back, you know, um, how long are you going to be there, or leave the phone number to your friends so I know that if I call, you're there. So at first, you begin to think, oh, well, you're just concerned. Oh, well, he's just concerned. He want to know where I'm going. But then you find out down the road, that's not concern. That's control.
Yes.
Which I thought, oh, it was kind of cute at first. Oh, he loved me. That wasn't the case. That was control, because I have to know where you're at, what you're doing, you know.
Hmm. And you know what's so funny
And
is
the abuse came not long.
it's a lot of young girls that are in relationships today, and they think the control of a guy is cute. They think that that's the how a relationship's supposed to be, because they feel like that's how that man is showing them how much they love them and care for them and everything, when it's really a beginning stages of control, which can go even worse to a whole nother level, and they don't have no idea. What advice could you give the young ladies that have that type of mindset and thinking it's okay to be treated that way? Miss Harriet, are you still there? Uh-oh. We have a small glimpse, guys, and she will be coming back with us in a minute. We were having a few issues in the beginning of the show also. But this is a good conversation. I hope you guys bear with us. Miss Harriet is doing the best that she can, and she is an amazing woman. And make sure you guys still check out No More Residue. It's a testimony full of women that's all in the show that I've been interviewing throughout the whole month so far. And she will be coming back on soon. So just please be patient. But I just want you guys to pre-order your copy today on the website nomoreresidue.com/Harriet. And you can also continue to go onto other website as well and grab everybody else's story. and she is back. You there?
Yes,
Listen,
yes, it kicked me off. I don't know why. It just kicked me out. Hmm.
that's okay because we
Yeah.
still here with you.
Like we were saying, yes, yes. Um, like we were saying, like we were saying, most young girls think that is cute in a relationship with a man. But that's just the beginning stages, because once he finds that weak point in you, that's the weak point that he will use. Because they will prey on that. They will prey on that weakness. And one thing about No More Residue is that the women that come together to do this book, we're trying to show women, and maybe even men, that you don't have to stay stuck in that situation. You don't have to keep with the guilt to think that everything is your fault. The guilt and the shame that you hold on to because you don't want anybody to know, because you feel like you have done something wrong, but you have not done anything wrong. So No More Residue is about letting women know that they can rise up above their situation. You don't
Yes,
have to stay in it. You can rise
right,
up and be who God called you to be. Because what you have to understand, when I didn't really know how to get out, God had to come along and snatch me out of that situation because I didn't know how to get out on my own.
yes,
So you gotta look at it. You gotta look at it and say, okay, God, you gave me an opening, but I didn't know how to take it. So you had to snatch me out of the midst of what I was in, out of the midst of that mess. So you had to come and get me. But the story goes a little deeper in No More Residue about my anniversary. So only thing I can say to the people, just get a copy of the book, and you will really, really be amazed, because it wasn't an anniversary that you think was happy, because it was
right.
not a happy anniversary. But to read more about it, and you have to read the story.
Yes. One thing about it,
You know,
some some men are hunters. Some of them hunt for a specific woman that they want and see what direction they
that's
could
right.
go and how far they can go with them. And
That's
some
right.
women will
That's what
fall
they
for
do.
it and some don't. I feel like it should be at a point where us women need to start loving ourselves more first and getting ourselves
Hmm.
healed and getting ourselves lined up in a position in our lives where that man will be cautious already to even before they even step to us, because they be like, man, it takes a special good man to say yes, she love herself, so I know I can't come at her that way. And for
That's
you
right.
to even Yes, so for even you to even make it through that, that's strong itself. That's being the
Hmm.
amazing woman, because some women don't make it out of situations like that. And it's such a
No, they
blessing
don't.
that
No,
you
they
are here and you're sharing your testimony with women and you're able to uplift them and inspire them and let them know,
don't.
look, you need to get out of that situation and you need not to
That's
be in
right.
that situation again. So
In the, in,
it's
in the midst of that, because it's because you tell women, you don't have to be a product of your past. You don't have to wear those scars, and shame. Um, and I take No More Residue, and I kind of equate it like this. When it says no more residue, it's like when I worked as a correctional officer and you go out and you shoot and you're using that weapon. There is residue on your hand when you finish leaving the range. It may not be detected right then, unless you have some kind of technology to see the residue. But the residue that we wore as 17 women who are transparent about our story, that residue is no longer there. See, because God wiped that away by the blood. By the
yeah.
blood, He took all that residue away from us. So we don't look like what we've been through, you know,
Hmm.
because He was there. He removed all of that so we can hold our head up and not walk in shame, that we can be here to help another woman go through what we have went through, just to be there to encourage her, just to be there to let her speak. because sometimes we can't always hit them with the word because everybody doesn't receive the word. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
be there to listen first. You got to be there to listen to their story first, because you just can't push the word on them because they may reject it. So, but if
Yeah.
you listen and just encourage them, it will go a little further. Some people are willing to accept the word and you can go right there with the word, but everybody is not on that same page, and I find that out in life. Everybody's not on that page. So you have to handle every situation different.
Yes.
Different. One thing you can tell them is how God removed the residue from you. Hmm.
Yes, I totally agree with you because everybody is at their own level of their own mindset. And a
Hmm.
lot of people these days, they don't know how to communicate. Their communication skills is off because
Right.
they used to texting, they're used to emailing and all different things of that nature. But
Hmm.
we lost our communication. We lost the fact of holding accountability for the things that we do. And we have lost ourselves along the way so far and so deep where we need to backtrack and see where what we are doing wrong with
Hmm.
us. And if we focus on those things of doing things for us, we will be able to excel and rise higher, and we will be surrounded by the women of that the women that you are around now for no more residue. And that's just powerful itself. It's no way, form or fashion, you
Yes.
able to see
Yes.
a bunch of 17 women in one whole book. They're all sharing their testimony,
Hmm.
and you guys been doing this for a while,
Yes. Yes.
and that's a
Yes.
testimony itself to show that we could all share our pain together, and we could all uplift women
That's
all over together in one whole book. That's just powerful, and
that's
I
right.
and that's very important. And with even you just even coming through a abusive relationship and going right into another one, what is the message that you're trying to give women now in your story for you to even speak about it?
The message that I'm trying to give women now is that you don't have to be defined um, by a man. You don't have to be, sometimes we want to be defined. We think we're being put in a place, but don't let that define you. You have to know who you are. You have to know who you are within yourself, not to be defined by anybody, not to be defined by a man or your family. You have to know who you are and take that stand and stand up for you. Because if you don't stand up for you, then nobody else is going to stand up for you. You got to take that step and stand up for yourself. Don't let your scars define you. We all have scars, but I'm not
Yes.
going to let my scars define me. I'm not going to let my mistakes define me because I've been past that. You have to be transparent about life, because I find that people will try to hold you hostage of your past. But but the 17 women in this book, we're not going to be held hostage because we're transparent about who we are. So you can't hold me hostage and say, I remember when you did what? I remember when you went through this. No, you won't hold me hostage to that anymore. We've been through it. We can talk about it, and we can let people know that we're here to help. We're here to listen. We're here to share with them. So they too can stand up and rise up above their situation.
And that is so true when you said you don't have to be defined as a man. A lot of women feel like their comfort zone and them loving themselves and a happiness will come from of them being with a man. You will
Hmm.
never get
Hmm.
further in life if you have that mindset. When you become
That's
the
right.
woman that God created you to be, and you are able to live alone and be with yourself alone and figure out who you
Hmm.
are, it'll give you the strength and the courage to meet your Boaz for you to even become the woman
That's
that
right.
you are. He will be able to be
Hmm.
that man for you.
That's
And
right.
a lot of us
Because you'll be that strong woman.
yes,
Hmm.
yes, and I don't understand, and that's where
You'll
that
be that strong woman. Mhm.
yep, and that respect level will come. A man will
That's
respect
right.
you if he see that you respect you. So your level
That's
on
right.
respect of yourself, he's going to be the reflection of what you give and what you ditch out.
That's right. That's what
Yeah.
he'll be. And when you can't respect yourself, then there's no respect from that man. There's no respect whatsoever. Because like I said, they'll put you in that box, and they'll leave you in that box because they have conformed you to that box. And when you look around, you don't know how to get out of that box because you're so used to them telling you where to go, what to do, how to dress, what to wear, what to say. I went through that. I went through those things. So you're just sitting in a box like a pretty little bow, and I'll put you over here. And you only come out. I'll just open the lid on the gift when I need you to come out. When I need you to come out and what I need you to be for the outside world. You know. So you put on a face for the outside people, but when you're alone, you're hurting. You're
Hmm.
hurting, but you don't know how to tell anybody that you're hurting.
And you're hurting other people along the way that has nothing to do with your hurt when they're there to
That's
actually
right.
love you and take care of you
Mm-hmm.
and be genuinely for you. So it
That's
just
right.
hurt
That's
people, just
right.
hurt people along the way. And that's why when we get around people that hurt you right back, we know our exit to the
Mm-hmm.
left, right, front, back.
Right.
It don't matter. We know where our exit at.
It's time to go. It's time to go.
Yeah,
Yeah. It is time to go. Time to go. That's a true.
definitely.
That is a true fact. That's a true
Yeah.
fact. And that's
So
something that I had to learn. That
how do you feel about others knowing your secret now?
it's fine. I was ready to share um, something that had happened because I tell people I grew up in the baby boomers age, so I'm over 60. So when
Okay.
you grow up, things when you're growing up in that era, you was always told to be quiet. You didn't talk about certain things. So sometimes that has a trickle down effect into your adulthood, and you begin to hold on to things because you say, okay, I'm not allowed to talk about that because that's what you were taught. You was taught, I see you, you just be quiet, and I think that's what they knew to teach us because that's how they were probably raised, at certain levels. So, but it kind of hurts you somewhere along the line when you're going through life because you'll say, oh man, I shouldn't tell anybody this because that's my past, and certain things you're not allowed to talk about. But I
Yes.
think we have to get out of that mindset because so many things are happening in life that we need to talk about it. We need to tell people because we can sit right in the church and be hurting, but we hold on to so many secrets and we
Yes.
just leave them there because we feel like nobody should know. But I'm still hurting in the midst of sitting there because
Mhm.
that's the mindset that sometimes we were brought up in, you know.
And
And
that
so, but
and
we have to change that mindset.
that's so true. And people are afraid of their own fears, and they don't understand when you break through
Hmm.
those fears, your blessings will start to flourish, and you will start
That's
to
right.
receive all the things that was meant for you when you was going through that fear, when you were going through that hurt and pain and everything. Once you break through
Hmm.
all of that, you will start to see a whole new life, but you're not going to see that life until you get through it. And that's what you
That's right.
did. You got through your situation, and now you see a whole new life, and now you're being a testimony and a voice of reason for other women that is going through it or went through it, and then they won't feel ashamed either.
That's right.
And that
That
and
is so true.
it's so important. It's so important in so many ways.
It is. It is. It is. It is very important.
Yes, and what advice could you give a woman that is going through it right now and they're not showing it?
The advice that I would give them is to tell someone, to talk about it. You know, um, don't keep it a secret. Don't keep hiding it. Stop pushing it down, because sometimes you'll push it so far till the mind will shut off at a point, and you'll put it so far back to you
Yeah.
will act like it never happened, because you don't know how to speak. Speak to somebody. Just get it out. Get it out. There's somebody there to listen to you, but you got to get it out. You got to open your mouth. You have to have that voice to say, you know what? Let me tell somebody this is what I'm going through. Because nowadays you see so many women who never told anybody, and you got so many that's in the graveyard because they never told. They never said anything. They never reached out to get out, and they got out another way, and it's sad. It's sad because we go through things like in abuse, and sometimes we never get out, or either we get out from death, or we get out till either we done lost our mind, something happened and it pushes us to another state where we may get addicted to drugs, trying to get away from the pain. It takes you to different avenues. Only thing I can say to women right now that's listening, talk to somebody. Open your
Mm-hmm.
mouth. Don't stay in that state of mind that you feel like if you tell somebody your secret, that they're going to laugh at you or make fun of you. No, because there's somebody out there to help you.
Mm-hmm. And it's I personally I've been through it before myself. However, right when it happened, I left the next day. I got I got out of it quick, fast, in a hurry because I knew my thought process. I knew my
Mm-hmm.
tolerance level. I knew a lot of things, and I was like, I'm not about to go through this. You done had like he had me hostage in my basement
Mm-hmm.
for 4 hours. I was in my basement for 4 hours trying to get away. And that's a long time for you to be,
Mm-hmm.
contemplating, don't even know if you gonna live or you gonna die. I
Live with
had
that's fine. That's fine.
seriously, and it's like you don't know. And it's like in my mind, for me to even be here right now, I had to think of a way to get away from being held hostage in my own basement. And I had to make myself get out because I knew if I was to go to sleep, one of us wouldn't go wake up. One of
Mm-hmm.
us wasn't. We wasn't going to make it
Oh,
through.
that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
it
That's right.
it's a lot. And then sometimes
Mm-hmm.
in our minds, I didn't want to get to a point because I've seen women in the past go through situations and they think everybody is against them. They or somebody affiliated with somebody was started and everything. Have you dealt with things to a point where you were afraid to talk to someone because they were connected to them?
No, I just didn't talk to them. I just didn't.
Wow.
I wasn't afraid to talk to them. I just didn't. I just didn't really share it. I just didn't share with anybody. Some people probably knew, um, but I just did not just go out and say, "Oh, this is happening to me." I just didn't share with them. I just didn't share with anybody. I wasn't so much that I didn't want to. I just kept everything bottled up on the inside. I just kept it, I just kept it. Didn't share it. I probably should have shared it a long time ago, but I didn't. I just didn't share it with anybody because I really didn't want anybody to know. I didn't want anybody to know what I was going through.
Wow. So what may I ask what made you stay for so long? Like what was going on in your mind? Because we have a lot of women that stay in relationships and you got people on the outside looking in and they be like, "Oh, she dumb. She's stupid. Why is she even there? She
Hmm.
need to just leave." People be making it seem so easy on the outside looking in. Could you give us
It's
some
not
advice?
easy.
Yeah, can you give someone some advice on how to help a person that's actually in a situation and won't leave?
it's not an easy task to say when somebody say, "Oh, I wouldn't be there," get up and leave. Um, at the time, I had children, um, and I wanted to see the change. I wanted the change in him to come. So at a point, I thought I could change him if I did certain things, and it sounds foolish sometimes, but sometimes you. I thought I could change the situation, but I couldn't. I couldn't change the situation. Um, but it just got to the point that it began to affect my children.
Wow.
Um, that my children began to be abused and mistreated. So it affected them also. So I knew, okay, I need to do something else. So um, a lot of times when you think people are going to get help, they really don't get help, the help that you think they need or they should be going for.
Mm-hmm.
So the change doesn't come. And you still saying, "Oh, well, I think I can change them. I think if I do this, I can change them." So yeah, when people are looking on the outside looking in and they say, "Oh, you should leave," it's not that easy sometimes because you're trying to keep your family structure together and you want it to stay together, but it doesn't work that way, and sometimes, like I said, God had to come along and say, this is enough. He had to take me from that moment, even though I didn't go where I needed to go right then, but he took me out of that moment. Um, because I really didn't know how to leave. I really didn't. I really did not know how to just say I'm going to leave. I've seen everything around me transpiring, but I didn't know how to get out. I didn't know how to get out. And I guess, like you said, if you never talk to anybody about it, then you don't have that support system because there's nobody to support you because you're not telling it. So you wind up staying stuck right there until you just either have enough sense to say, okay, this is not working, so yeah, so don't when I look at people's situation, I don't say, well, why are they still there? Sometimes I know why they're still there. They don't know how to get out, or they're trying to keep something together that's probably not meant to be together, but you're trying to keep your family structure intact, because you want it to work. So you're gonna do everything to make it work. But sometimes that's not the path. I find that's not the path that God has for us. It's not to make it work, Sometimes we
Right.
do have to leave. We can't say we need to stay here because I have children or because I love him that much. I need to stay here. No. Mm-mm. And
Right.
that's what we do at times as women. We love so hard till we stay there. We stay because we're trying to fix it. We're trying to fix it. But the thing of it is, we're not even fixing ourselves, but we're trying to fix another situation that
Yeah.
person has to fix themselves. And we're trying to fix them and we're not working on us.
That is so true. So, what advice could you give a woman on trying to fix a man along a toxic relationship?
You can't. I'm sorry. I mean, this is how I feel about it. If it's a toxic relationship, you can't fix him. You can't. I'm sorry. You can't. Mm-mm, mm-mm. You can't fix that. And I learned that you cannot fix a toxic relationship.
Yeah,
You can't fix it. We want to fix it, but you can't. You just can't fix that relationship. Um, because the more you say I'm going to fix it, the worse things get. The worse they get. The worse they get. Oh, maybe for a moment it may seem like everything is good. You're on the right track, but then it comes right back to the same circle. It just keeps going round and round and round. Mhm. So if it's toxic, and sometimes we know it's toxic from the beginning.
yes,
I can say that sometimes we already know it's toxic, but we
yes,
want what we want and we stay in it,
mhm,
but we know that it's toxic.
yes. We got a bad habit
And we
of
just be in denial.
one
Okay,
time. Yep. Denying the signs that we see early on. And you be like, oh, that's just
Mhm.
that ain't nothing. That's a phase. Then you next thing you know, a year gone by, we still making excuses for that person when we should have been gone a long time
Right.
ago.
Long time ago.
Yes. So now
And
so
we make it and we make excuses.
yes. So now that you are out and you're doing good now and everything, how do you feel now that you are free from being in a abusive and controlling relationship now? How do you feel within as a woman now?
Oh, within being free from abuse and control, that was the best thing ever. It was the best thing ever because I got to follow my dreams. I got to follow the things that I wanted to do that I didn't do back then. So it's like I'm a whole new me. I'm just a whole new me versus to what I was back then. Um, so yes, I'm just enjoying life. Just enjoying things in life that I can do that I thought I never could do. But it showed me I could do that. I could do that. But when you're stuck in something and you stay stuck there, so you feel like you can't do it, that you can't move on, that you can't be the things that you want to be in life. But now I can say, here I am. When they say, "Woman, hear me roar," that's me. This is me. You know, uh, I'm free. I'm free from things that I can be me. I can be me. Whatever I want to do, I can put my hands to it and try. If it don't work, it's okay. I can move to something else. I can do
Yes.
different things in life to show that I can do it, that I can move forward and do it. You know, sometimes we say, "Oh, I can't do that. I can't do that." No, I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. No, you're allowed to do whatever you want to do. It is you.
Mm-hmm.
Do your life, work your life, make your life the best life that you can make it for you. Be happy within yourself. If you fail at something, it's all right. Get up, try it again, do something else. Never stay down. Never stay down. Just keep moving. Keep moving in life. And all those things that you want, they'll come. They'll come. It may come from me at a later age, but it's okay. It came,
Oh, yeah.
so I am happy. So I am happy with the woman that I have become. I am very with the woman that I have become in life. Mhm.
Go ahead, Miss Harriet. I know that's right. So, so in closing, could you give us some advice on how to just be you, just be happy, just love on yourself? What advice could you give women?
First, I said, women, you have to speak to yourself. It's what I learned. What I learned from Crystal is that when you look in the mirror, take that mirror and look at yourself and speak to yourself. Let yourself know that you are beautiful, that you are loved, that you can be whatever God has for you to be. You got to be able to speak to yourself because sometimes everybody's not going to encourage you. So look in that mirror, women, and just speak to yourself and say that you are beautiful, that you are somebody. Never take that somebody will put you down because you can speak life into yourself. Speak it. Speak it.
Yes,
Just get that mirror every morning, get up and look at yourself and say, I am who God made me. I am beautifully and wonderfully made. You got to talk to yourself. You got to encourage yourself today. Don't let nobody put you down. Look in that mirror and just speak to yourself. And the more that you speak to yourself, the more
mm,
that you will see the results of what you speak. And
yes,
that's one thing I learned when she had us do the mirror. And I was like thankful for that because sometimes you really don't take a look at yourself, to
no,
see how you look. You sometimes you're looking all down and stuff. Speak to yourself, give yourself life, give yourself encouragement. That's what we have to do as women, encourage ourselves. We have to encourage ourselves. So that's the advice that I give women today. Encourage yourself.
that is amazing. So one more question: what was it like working with Crystal?
Oh, working with Crystal. I love working with Crystal. I have not just met Crystal. I've been on Crystal a little while now.
Okay.
And to work with her on this level, I find that she has the utmost leadership qualities of a woman. You know, say because she's a godly woman. She's a woman who is truly serving God, and I love that about her. She's no nonsense. She will let us know. She will let us
Yes.
know what we're doing. Okay, now, you know, so she will she will do that. But you know what? Sometimes we need that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need that from someone else to say, okay, this is what you need to do. You're not going to go over here and do this. And I love that about her. You know, I truly love that about her because she will work with you. She will give you the tools that you need. You know, and it's up to you to take it. She can't force them on you. So, but it's up to you to say, you know what, I need to really look at myself and follow what she's saying. But see, because God gave her the vision, He
Mm-hmm.
gave it to us to follow, and that's
Yeah.
what we have to do. We have to follow. We have to follow the visionary, and I thank God for her as the visionary. I
That,
love Crystal to death. I love her, you know, and I was continue to follow her because I'm going to follow somebody that's going to be about truth, somebody that's
yeah.
going to be about God, you know. So everything she does, she puts Him first, you know, and that's what we need. We need somebody that's going to put God first, and to give us correction, and she will give us correction, you know.
Yes.
And like I said, we need that sometimes. We need that correction.
Seriously, I think
We
I
need
think
that. We really
people
do.
need to be at a level in their lives where they respect hearing the truth about themselves. And that's where a lot of people's conversations get
Yes,
misconstrued.
yes,
They start feeling some kind of way, but sometimes it takes a person to actually see your wrongdoings and tell you out of love, out of respect.
that's
And when you
I
hear
love.
that, you're like,
Hmm.
man, I do need to get that together. I do need to, you know what I'm saying, get my life right, because we may not ever had anyone to directly tell us that. So it's a blessing that you had, Crystal, in
That's
that in your life
right. Hmm.
before this,
Yes,
even during this, because I'm sure you done, with you being over 60 still, you probably noticed some things that you still needed to fix.
that's
So
right. That's right. You know, and I tell people it has nothing to do with the age difference or
no,
whatever. But when God sends somebody, you know, that's who He's sending to put in your path. You know, and like I said, I am so thrilled that I have connected with her through the years. You know, like I said, I started when she was doing midnight ministry when I first connected to her. You know, and I've been following her ever since. And I tell you what, it's just been a joy. Just been a joy to work with her, to be to be with her. I have really enjoyed the time with Crystal. You know, so I tell anybody, if you want a good leadership, if you want a good coach, you want a good mentor, and if you want to hear the word of God, then you need to connect with her.
I know that's right. So let our listeners know how to get your book. No more residue.
You can get No More Residue from www.nomoreresidue.com/Harriet.
Okay. Well, I hope you guys heard this amazing testimony from Miss Harriet, and she was speaking life into these women. I hope y'all was listening loud and clear, and make sure you go get No More Residue. This is something amazing of 17 women coming together and just sharing their testimonies. You can't get nothing better. So yes, thank you again, Miss Harriet. I really appreciate you.
Yes, and thank you for having me, Yvette. I really enjoyed being here with you this evening.
Thank you. Bye. See you later.
All right. Bye bye.